Rubis stations are rolling back the price on all fuel purchases by 20 cents. Every customer will save 20 cents on every gallon of fuel purchased on Wednesday and Thursday. Every customer. Only at Rubis. Roll back.
Only at participating Rubis service stations.
Roll back. Flow is excited to bring you everything you'll ever need in a mobile plan. Be the superhero in your family and get the new mobile family plan. The family plan gives you up to 4 lines for $60 per line per month with unlimited talk and data. You heard right. Unlimited talk and data. Don't miss out on getting your family plan with Flow today. Visit discoverflow.ky/family for details. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Flow Cayman Islands. Terms and conditions apply. Flow, you deserve the best.
There are few things in Cayman that are as iconic as the 2 for $6 deal at Burger King, with the possible exception of our wonderful marine life. Well, possible exception no more. The Big Fish Sandwich has just joined the other stars of 2 for $6. You heard right. Choose from the iconic Whopper, Crispy Chicken Sandwich, Spicy Crispy Chicken Sandwich, and now the Big Fish. And get 2 sandwiches for just $6. Hurry, for a limited time only. Available at Burger King 7 Mile Beach, Waterfront, Walkers Road, and Red Bay.
Live from Star 927 Studios in the center of Cayman's capital city, Georgetown. This is Straight Talk with Ruth Anna.
Good evening, everybody. You are tuned into Straight Talk, brought to you exclusively by Star 92.7 Premium Radio. I am your host, Ruth Anna Young, always honored to be your host here on Straight Talk every Monday through Thursday from 5 to 6 p.m. right here and nowhere else other than Star 92.7. It is 5:03 on the Star 92.7 clock. It is the 21st of July, and it is like, I don't know why it feels like the week is flying on by, but it is Tuesday the 21st. I have a full hour for you guys this afternoon. Now, for the first half of my first segment, I'm joined by a number of the faculty and staff at ICCI, and which I will introduce to you in just a moment. And then from 5:30 to 6, we will be joined by some of the members of Toastmasters from a variety of the clubs here on the island. So we will learn more about them as well. And I have good news. For my ICCI guest, it is for the 3 of them, their first time here on Straight Talk. So we have 3, not 1, 2, but 3 Who Your Mama Is segments this afternoon. I feel like I've deprived y'all for quite a number of days now. We haven't had Who Your Mama Is, so we get to squeeze in 3 of those this afternoon. 943-3700 is the line in the studio, and of course you can also WhatsApp me at 324-1565. You can email me at straighttalkci@gmail.com, and you know that we are all streaming live video from the Star 92.7 Facebook page, so you feel free to join us there and also leave questions and comments there as well. You guys know the deal. Before we go any further into our conversation, we start our time with the reading of today's Daily Bread. So today's Daily Bread is entitled A Royal Roll, and the scripture comes from John 1 verse 12 and reads, "To all who did receive him, to those who believed in his name, he gave the right to become children of God." The closer someone in a royal family is to the throne, the more the public hears about him or her. Others are almost forgotten. The British royal family has a line of succession that includes nearly 60 people. One of them is Lord Frederick Windsor, who's 49th in line for the throne. Instead of being in the limelight, he quietly goes about his life. Though he works as a financial analyst, he's not considered a working royal, one of the important family members who are paid for representing the family. David's son Nathan is another royal who lived outside the limelight. Very little is known about him, but while the genealogy of Jesus in Matthew mentions his son Solomon, tracing Joseph's line, Luke's genealogy, which many scholars believe is Mary's family line, mentions Nathan. Though Nathan didn't hold a scepter, he still had a role in God's forever kingdom. As believers in Christ, we're also royalty. The Apostle John wrote that God gave us the right to become children of God. Though we may not be in the spotlight, we're children of the King. God considers each of us important enough to represent him here on earth and to one day reign with him. Like Nathan, we may not wear an earthly crown, but we still have a part to play in God's kingdom. Thank you, God, for that word today. As always, here on Straight Talk, we remind you, we encourage you to spend time each and every day focused on His word, meditating on His grace, and how awesome He is. With that, I go straight into our conversation. We are joined by three persons from ICCI today. I feel like I am amongst the top of the top of ICCI. We are joined by Dr. Kuhn, who is the president. We also have Dr. Beverly and Robert, we will all get to know them shortly. And Dr. Beverly, I'm going to ask you to unmute your microphone because I do ladies before gentlemen. While I'm a very progressive woman, I am very traditional in some senses still. And so ladies get to go before gentlemen. So Dr. Beverly, it is your first time in studio with me, which means the audience is dying to know who your mama is.
Oh my. Well, thank you. It's so good to be here. Thank you for inviting us. I'm Eliza Beverly, and Dean and Chief Academic Officer at ICCI. I've been here almost 4 years in November. It's amazing. The time is going so fast.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, though, in the 80s, I attended ICCI and taught at the college at the time and worked on my master's degree. And so my thoughts always go back to when I started here on the island. I fell in love with it and stayed here for a couple of years and enjoyed it so much that kind of in the back of my mind, it was like, one day I'd love to return. And so I spent almost 30 years teaching at another college and as an administrator at another college, my alma mater, Anderson University, and retired there 4 years ago. And this opportunity opened up and I was like, yes, I can go back.
There
So
it is.
I'm back here where I love doing what I do and loving where I do it. And I enjoy it. I love the students. I love the island. And I'm real happy about where I am in my life.
Awesome. It is a pleasure to have you, Dr. Beverly, and a pleasure to get a brief introduction of who you are and look at how everything comes full circle. And so, Robert, if you could, I will ask you to go next. And so, Robert, everyone is dying to know who your mama is.
Thank you very much, Ruthana. And I really appreciate your energy. And I was really moved by how you started the program, and I'll tell you why. The job that I'm enjoying most is the one that when I started, I felt most unprepared for. About 5 months ago, my wife gave birth and we got into difficulty. And at this point, my son is laying on a bed, he's blue, he's not breathing, and my wife is in the emergency room and she's just going through a difficult time. And I'm in a room all by myself and I don't know what is going on. I don't know what is happening. And I'm utterly overwhelmed and just feeling unready. There's nothing that I can do. And I just feel that calm. My mother is praying, everyone is praying. And I just feel that calm come over me that says, you know what? Doesn't matter what you can do. I'm in control. And I'm happy to say that my son is just super awesome. He's just growing. He's just really Dr. Beverly simply loves him. And what that story does for me and the connection is just to remind me in all I do, I don't need to be in control. I don't need to have all the pieces. I don't need to be anxious about what is going on because God is in control. So I just really appreciate you. Thought persons might want to hear that about me.
Be anxious for nothing, and congratulations, by the way.
Thank you very much. So, but with the school, I've been on island for about 10 years now, and I've been at ICCI since 2014. It's been a long time, both in the classroom, working with the administration, and of course, also working with our radio station, Radio ICCI 101.1 FM. And I really enjoy my time in the classroom. And I promised you a story about Dr. Beverly, who is, we call her the candy lady. See her face right there. Everyone just simply loves her because she's, in addition to being awesome and wonderful and just sweet, every time a person's going to her office, they just walk by and she always has a big bowl of candy on her desk. And students will come out of their classes from wherever they are to come say hi and grab a handful of candy because that's just her office.
Dr.
That's
Beverly.
that's how I bribe them to come talk to me. There's a
Listen,
method to my madness.
you just bribed me, and I'm not one of your students, so you might have an adoptee.
Come on, come on, come on.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that story. What's your son's name, Robert?
His name is Micah, like the prophet.
Only fitting. Thank you for sharing that. And last but certainly not least, Dr. Kuhn, Dr. Baron Kuhn, who is the president at ICCI. Everyone is dying to know, sir, who your mama is.
Well, I tell you, she's somebody I think that was smiling down from heaven today, and I think she's very proud of all her children. You know, I was raised on in a farming community. My parents will have a very large farm, and so you were made to work every day, and you learn to appreciate that which God has given you in abundance. And I graduated from Florida State University, and I went on to graduate from the University of Florida School of Medicine in the public health.
Can I interject and share a secret? Can I
Yes.
share a secret?
Yes.
I am, and I will forever be, sir, a Miami Hurricane. I will not hold it against you.
Well, I'll forgive you. I'm going to pray for you. You know, that's okay. You know, some days I wake up and I don't know if I'm a Seminole or if I'm a Gator, you know, so what can I say? But I went on, I retired, and then this opportunity came open down here. And I'm here, and I'm telling you, even for all the years where I worked in academics, and I never had the freedom that when we start our staff meetings or whatever meetings we start, we really have the freedom to pray. And we pray over our institution. We pray for the people. And there is no fear in that at ICCI. And I love that. I love it. And I thank God. That's the reason why God has given favor to ICCI these many 50 years. So with that, I'm just, the old man of the group. And they know that too, so they use that to their leverage. But that's okay. I just let them know that I can let them do it. You know.
Okay, there we go. And you dropped a very important nugget there. 50 years, right? And that is one of the things that we are here to talk about this afternoon. We have 3 key things we want to cover today, but first and foremost, you guys are celebrating a big anniversary, and as such, you've launched your 50 for 50 campaign. And I think I will turn this to you, Robert. Are you gonna share about the 50 for 50 campaign?
I would love to. Thank you, Ruth Anna. And I just wanted, Dr. Kuhn is a modest man and he has a huge heart. He won't go into these details about himself, but one of the things that he enjoys doing, or the thing that he enjoys doing, I guess, is just taking care of us. Even as we went through this COVID crisis, he wanted to make sure that everyone, didn't matter what you were doing, whether you were in the classroom or working with administration or even cleaning the building, he wanted to make sure that everyone was able to keep their jobs. And that's important because it says that this person is concerned about staff members, students, and everyone who's connected. And that is the theme that is going to be about all the projects that we're going to be talking about today. The 50 for 50 campaign is designed in such a way that it's us raising funds so persons can continue on their pathway to success. So they can continue on their education. So we're inviting persons to contribute. They're inviting persons to give. We're inviting alumni to come in and say, hey, you know, we want to make sure that young Caymanians have an opportunity to keep moving forward, to continuing on their education. And so this project is pretty simple. It's our 50th anniversary. We've been around for 50 years. And if you have $50 lying around, please feel free to contribute. You can contribute in 3 ways. You can call in at the office, and all our phones ring at our homes because we're working from home. You can call in at our office, which is 947-1100, and donate over the phone. Or you can click on our website. There's a link on our website that takes you to our Cayman Active link where you can donate by check, or and this one's a special.
Mhm.
We've been running a Facebook campaign where you can make a video. You can make a video just challenging two persons. If you know two persons who you think would just like to contribute, you can just call them out on Facebook. Sorry about that. I think Alexa's trying to get involved.
Oh, I think Alexa tries to get involved in all our lives. It's fine.
Yes. So you can just make a Facebook video saying, "Hey, I'm Robert Lynch. I'm contributing to the ICCI 50 for 50 campaign, and I'm inviting Dr. Kuhn and Dr. Beverly to just make contributions also." And I'll tell you this, the persons who are in front of you, they've already contributed to the campaign, even though they're the ones driving it. So leading by example, that's what you're looking at right there.
Awesome. It's kind of like a virtual tag you're it, right?
That
Which
is correct. Yes.
awesome. And that, I mean, again, I just want to iterate it 50-year anniversary. It is a big milestone. I will say, I'll interject right here. So I'm 35 years old. My parents met at ICCI. Right. So my mother's originally from here. My dad is from Jamaica. He came to Cayman to attend a university and he attended ICCI. And that is where they met. So had it not been for ICCI, I wouldn't be here. Right. So
There you
ICCI
go.
has a special place in our family, but certainly a worthwhile challenge and a
Yeah.
campaign. 50 for 50, a reminder to the audience, the purpose of the campaign is to help continue to fund scholarships, right, at
Yes.
ICCI. It continues to make education for many possible through campaigns like this. And, you know, I dare say, if you once you hit the threshold of I'm sure although it's 50 for 50, you certainly want more than 50 people to join in on the 50 for 50 campaign, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Awesome. And if
And
people go ahead.
I just want to give a shout out right now to Dr. Elsa Cummings because she is still with us today. And they got stuck when she and her husband and the Friends of ICCI envisioned ICCI 50 years ago, sitting in a living room all the way in what was it? I forget the name of the state in the U.S. Right? They're thinking to themselves, how can we provide opportunities for Caymanians so they don't have to travel all the way to the UK or the US just to get an education, so
Yeah.
they can come together and make wonderful young people like you, Ruth Anna, right
Yeah.
here on island, right? And
Yeah.
so they did that, and it's so awesome for us to have Dr. Elsa with us today because they didn't start because they had big deep pockets. They didn't start because they wanted to get rich. They started because they wanted to create opportunities for young persons, and that's what we're doing with this campaign. It's not for us. It's not helping us. It's helping students to get those opportunities, and we're excited to present this to your audience.
Awesome. So
And
that
if
is
I could add to that,
yes,
when
ma'am.
I think back on the beginnings of my career, it really did start here at ICCI. I was just out of college. I was out, got a job really quick, and then I moved here in the 80s, pretty much right out of college. And all the things that I've done since then in academia started because Dr. Elsa Cummings and Dr. Hugh Cummings gave me the opportunity to do what I was doing here in the 80s, to teach classes and then to go to school as well. And so all the things that I've done since then, I really owe that to them and those other visionaries who thought about ICCI and said, let's do this, and did it. And I'm so grateful to them. And I would guess that there are many alums across this island, across the states, across the world that have also benefited from what ICCI did for them, gave you a start, or if you had already started, got you up a little bit from where you were. And I know that was the case for me. And I want to challenge all of our alums to think about that. Think about what ICCI has done for you, and then to give that opportunity to other students by contributing to this.
Also, Ruth Anna, I just want to add to that, because there's a lot of piggybacking here that can go on, is that when I attend meetings here on the island, or I'm included in committees and stuff, I hear, what I hear the most is, oh, hi, I'm an alumni alumnus of ICCI, and they're holding very high positions in this island. Some of them have gone on to be entrepreneurs and have done extremely well. And I'm just thinking, is there anybody on this island that did not attend ICCI? So that's, kind of like what, I come to the conclusion is that ICCI has been here for 50 years. It's the very first higher learning institution in the Cayman Islands. And 3 years later, FM 101.1 came into being, the very first radio station. So I'm thinking, it really feels good to be a part of the first.
It sure does, and I didn't know that was the first radio station. But Dr. Kuhn, since you are speaking, I know the second point that we did want to touch on came at this, during our conversation today, is the Resilience Cayman Youth Volunteer Program, and I've been told that particular program is near and dear to your heart. So I want to give you the opportunity to share with everyone what that is, and how they may be able to get involved or encourage someone they know to get involved with that program.
Oh, great. Well, I tell you, because of the COVID-19, although it's such a devastating type situation that it's put the whole globe in, is that there is also silver linings that come out of every situation, and I truly believe that the Resilience Cayman is one of those programs, because it really is undergirded. The foundation of it is about corporate social responsibility. And the corporate social responsibility is when employers give back by educating and mentoring and helping young people who are in college. And those young people come to them and they get one-on-one mentoring, they get one-on-one help, they learn the real world in the work environment, and at the same time, the employers give back to ICCI. And so what really fascinated me about the whole resilience program is that with the corporate social responsibility, ICCI was doing this way back in the early days when it first formed, because it relied on the employers and the corporate people here in the Cayman Islands to help them offer scholarships and offer grants. And this is how ICCI has promoted itself and got to where we are today. And so students who are registered at ICCI, there are three what we call avenues, or three streams on basically how they can be a part of the internship program. If they're a student and they're registered at ICCI, they can register for the business placement internship course, and or if they're a student, they can register for the social responsibility and sustainability, which substitutes for the local seminar. And then we have students who may not be at the place yet where they can do the seminar, etc. They can register to volunteer with Resilience without taking the business placement and the internship course or the social responsibility. And here is the beauty of it, is when the student actually registers and they volunteer their time to help Cayman rebuild the infrastructure in the employer sector and help ICCI also, is that the employer will pay $600 ICCI to cover that student's tuition for that course that they substitute. And the best part about it is that it's not a one-time deal. They can register for fall, they can register for spring to do this. So my vision when I was interviewed when I first came to the island is that I really wanted higher education to be high quality, accessible, and affordable. And I tell you, Resilience Cayman is absolutely fit all three of those. And so it's very close to my heart because it gets us involved in the community and it's a nation builder.
That is awesome. Thank you for sharing all of the details in relation to that program. I think that could be a show all to itself, by the way.
Yes.
But I also, in the interest of time, I know we also need to share information about your GED partnership with work to help people who have didn't get the opportunity to complete high school, but now giving them the opportunity to get a high school diploma. So who will I turn to? Who wants to take that one? This new partnership with work and your GED program.
Dr. Beverly will share a little bit about that because she's been working really hard to help persons to get through that program, work out the details as we partner with work to hammer that out. But I just wanted to say, with the resilience program, I mean, you do an important course, which is our business category, business placement course. You get to get hands-on training, and you get to have the course covered. With the social responsibility program, you get to partner with companies, be socially responsible, and get your program covered. With just the regular program, if you don't have any courses to do, and you're thinking about doing a course next term, you can volunteer, give back to your community, and start putting money away to move on to school. So I think this is just a simply awesome program that Dr. Kuhn envisioned, that he's been working out behind the scenes to provide, again, access to education for anyone who wants it here on island. And Dr. Beverly, again, the same theme, access to education. Just because you didn't finish high school shouldn't stop you from being able to get an education, right, Dr. Beverly?
Yes,
that's for sure. People stop from a lot of different reasons, and it doesn't end there. Learning is lifelong. And so even if you have not finished high school, don't let that stop you from going towards your dreams, your academic dreams in life, because it's important. Some people just have it in their head, I really would like to finish my high school diploma. I never did. But this is an opportunity for you to do that. The classes are one night a week, and the subjects are science, social studies, math, and English, a form of English, reasoning through the language arts. And you can take one class at a time, or you can do two at a time. And then once we open up again in our testing center, you'll be able to do your test right here on the island. And so there's no reason not to do it. If there's a nagging in the back of your mind that you want to finish your degree, we're here to help you do that. Perhaps it'll get you to a better job. Many times it will. Perhaps you are doing the job you want to do, but you just never finished, and you just kind of want to do that for yourself. That is so worth it. If you're going to fulfill something within your heart to do, we're here to help you do that.
Awesome. That is excellent.
And if you need money, Dr. Beverly, if you're in need of funds to finish the program.
Right. Thank you. Yes. And so now if you need help with getting these classes, work, WORC, work, it will help you to do that. They will sponsor you. So you just need to contact work, let them know that you're interested in taking classes towards your GED, and they will do whatever they're going to do to process you through. And you have no excuse. None at all.
No excuses. And we're about to turn the dial to 6 o'clock. I want to go back where we started. Just as a quick reminder, ICTI turns 50 years old. They are celebrating their 50-year anniversary. And in honor of that, they have issued the 50 for 50 challenge to continue to raise funds for local scholarships. And if you could, Robert, just please remind everyone, if they want to donate to your 50 for 50 program, how do they reach out to you? How do they get in contact with the university to make those contributions?
Thank you very much again. Again, all that we talked about today is providing pathways to success or access to education for everyone who can. If you want to help in that mission, you can call us at 947-1100 and talk to our business officer, Lisa, and you're able to contribute, or go to our website, which is icci.edu.ky. And I just want to say, if for any reason you want to get an education and you don't see your way to doing that, just give Dr. Beverly a call. She probably give you an air hug over the virtual hug over the phone and just guide you to whether it is moving to your associates, a bachelor's, a master's degree, or even your GED so you can get that education and get started on that pathway to success. Again, our phone numbers are 947-1100 or check out our website at icci.edu.ky.
Awesome. Guys, thank you so much, Dr. Cohen, Dr. Beverly, Robert. Thank you all for joining me this afternoon. You're welcome back anytime. I know that there's lots that we can talk about. It is my absolute privilege and pleasure to have you guys in the virtual studio this afternoon. I trust this was your first, but it will not be your last. Happy anniversary. Happy 50-year anniversary. It was a pleasure to have you on. Guys, it is now 5:31 on the Star 92.7 clock, which means that I am going out to my first break of my time together. When I return, I'm going to have guests from Toastmasters in studio with me. Keep it locked until 6 o'clock this evening for some more Straight Talk on Star 92.7.
Join the conversation. The phone lines are now open. 943-3700. You can also find us on Facebook or email us at straighttalkci@gmail.
Have you checked out the Island Heritage Insurance website? They have upgraded their online payment options to make it easier for you to get a quote, make a claim, and renew your policy. Log on to islandheritageinsurance.com. Island Heritage Insurance is also here for you this hurricane season with helpful tips from their Hurricane Handbook. Just log on to islandheritageinsurance.com/hurricane.
Register to the University College of the Cayman Islands 4-week technical vocational courses. Our introductory courses provide training in areas such as computer technology, customer service, QuickBooks, commercial cooking, electrical installations, plumbing and air conditioning applications, and many more. Classes start July 27th. Qualified Caymanians can apply for private scholarship. How can you register? Join UCCI's registration drive on July 22nd to 24th and July 27th from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. on the UCCI campus. Bring your passport and health insurance card. For more information, contact our admission team at admissions@ucci.edu.ky or call 345-623-8224.
Cayman National's online banking is still the best way for you to bank, and at Cayman National, you can access your banking when you need it. Enjoy safer, easier, and discounted banking from the comfort of your home. Banking needs such as checking account activity, paying bills, transferring funds between accounts internally and domestically, and much more. Remember, we're stronger together through our efforts to keep the Cayman community healthy.
Welcome back to Straight Talk with Ruth Anna on Star 927.
We are back, folks, and you are tuned into Straight Talk, brought to you exclusively by Star 92.7 Premium Radio. I am your host, Ruth Anna Young. Always honored to be your host here on Straight Talk. It is 5:33 p.m. on the Star 92.7 clock. 943-3700 is the line in studio. You can also WhatsApp me at 324-1565. You can also email me at straighttalkci@gmail.com. We are streaming live video from the Star 92.7 Facebook page. We are in our second segment this afternoon. I am joined by members of the Toastmasters, I would say clubs, in the Cayman Islands. We are going to get to learn more about Toastmasters. And despite the fact that social distancing is certainly still a thing, they are still hard at work making sure that all of us who are interested are as eloquent as speakers as we could possibly be. I feel like anytime Toastmasters comes on to the show, I suddenly want to be like, oh gosh, I say too much, right? What do they call crutch words?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm always super cognizant of that. So I will do my very best to be as good a Toastmaster as possible. But I think, Sean, this is your first time with me on Straight Talk, correct?
That would be correct.
And Jodianne, I think you've been on with me before, but I don't know if that's just because I know you otherwise. Is this your
No, this is my first time.
Okay, so
Yes.
okay. So despite the fact that I know both of you outside of Straight Talk, there is still a very important Straight Talk tradition that must be honored here this afternoon, which is the Who Your Mama Is segment, which means like my audience are just going to be thrilled, right? We had 3 Who Your Mama Is segments in the first with the ICCI, and now I get 2 more with Toastmasters. So, ladies before gentlemen, always. Jody, I would ask that you just share, a minute and a half, 2 minutes about yourself so the audience can get to know you a little bit better. And the audience is dying to know who your mama is. Jody?
Greetings, everyone. Hello, my name is Jody. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Go
Hello?
ahead.
Can you hear me well?
Yes, I can.
All right, good. My name is Jody Ann Jackson. I'm from the beautiful district of East End. My father is Nordell Jackson, and my mother is Janet Jackson. So I'm from the Pennycook side in Jamaica. East End, almost everybody knows my dad, I would say. So power to the East Enders. I have the cassava cake trait. I know how to bake a mean, lean cassava cake. That's my favorite thing to do. And I'm a Toastmaster, and I love being involved in Toastmasters. I've been involved for the past 6 years. So that's a little bit about me.
Jody Ann, I'm going to tell you the God and honest truth. I heard cassava cake, cassava cake, cassava cake. That is
I'm actually a Taste of Cayman winner as well. So just to brag.
Gosh, listen.
Yes.
So I am originally a West, right? And I, as in my books, my grandmother, God rest her soul, my mother's side, made the gummiest, best cassava cake ever in life, right? Now, I have the privilege of learning from her before she went to join her heavenly home, because she passed away when I was 12. And for my entire life, I was in search of especially once I became an adult, and I wanted to figure out oh my God, I need to learn to bake cassava cake. And because I couldn't find cassava cake like my grandmother's. As an adult, I was privileged to find an Easterner, right? Mr. Frank Conley himself, who taught me to bake cassava cake when I was an adult, something I am eternally grateful for. And so I am a Westvale taught by a Easterner, and I would like to say that Mr. Conley taught me pretty well. I don't know that mine can rival yours, but I am happy with my cassava cake. But I am always happy to taste it anytime you need a taste test, Jody. Because trust me, I am a cassava. And so, Sean, welcome to the show. Welcome. And it is your first time, so everybody's dying to know who your mama is.
Who my mama is?
Yeah.
Well, I'm a Jamaican. I had the privilege of coming to this wonderful island, about 5 years ago? And since being here, I've resided in the wonderful district of West Bay, and I love it here. I don't want to be anywhere else. I am a musician at heart, love playing music. I'm also passionate about volunteering and people. I love eating some mean cassava cake, so for Jody and I will be her taster all the time. My favorite thing to do is just to chill. I like to chill, whether I'm watching an F1 race or just having meaningful conversations.
All right. Thank you. And welcome to the show. And in the interest of time, because time flies much faster than we realize, I want to start this afternoon show by first off, for those who may not be familiar with what Toastmasters is on a global level, what you do, what you help people do. I would like one of you to share with the audience, what is Toastmasters? Who are Toastmasters?
Go ahead, Jody.
So, thanks. Thank you. Toastmasters has been around for many years. It's an international organization that was started by Ralph Medley, and we've been in the Cayman Islands for the past 20 years. Toastmasters, if I had to summarize it, it is a leadership and communication development program for anyone who's interested in just making themselves better at what they do. That's my summary of Toastmasters. Sean?
Jody, I will say that that is probably the best summary of Toastmasters I
It
have
is.
yet. Right, I will
It
say
is
that.
very accurate.
Yes, I agree, and I would be it would be remiss of me. I don't think this was mentioned earlier, but for those who are watching on Facebook, you can see the title, but there are many who are tuned in via radio. So on Sean's screen, it says President Sean Grand Cayman Toastmasters, and if and I can hear him sigh in the background. He was like, "Oh no," but I have to because if memory serves me correct, this was a recent election, was it not?
That is correct.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations. And are both of you in the same club?
Toastmasters is one big family. So the answer is yes, especially here in the Cayman Islands.
Okay, fair enough. But I am aware that Toastmasters has different meeting on a normal basis on non-COVID Twilight Zone times.
I know, right?
Right. Toastmasters has several different meeting times and locations to try to cater to as wide a range of persons, as possible. And so, do you guys let me put it this way: do you guys normally, when it's not COVID, attend the same club, like location and time, or you guys attend different clubs?
Uh, Jody, you want to go ahead? I'll yield to you.
So basically, like Sean said, Toastmasters is a huge family, and we have 6 clubs on island. So you have Scotia Pioneers. They are for Scotiabank employees and families. So if you're in Scotia, please go and check them out. We also have Eloquent Speakers. They're located in Savannah. Grand Cayman Toastmasters. This is where Sean and we do have our membership there. And we do used to meet at the library, but now all of the Toastmasters are meeting virtually right now to adapt to the COVID times. Grand Cayman, I feel like, is the parent of Toastmasters, put it that way, yes. And I advocate for them. I love all my Toastmasters family, but Grand Cayman is where I started.
Okay.
And then you also have civil service Toastmasters, only for civil service. So if you're in the government, reach out to them. And you have Ernst & Young is a new club that's coming on board, or that is on board. And Sean and we also have the Seventh Day one.
Eminent.
They're mostly eminent orators. They cater to mostly Adventists.
Right.
Yeah, they cater to Adventists, and they do like to have other people there, but each club is designed to motivate certain aspects of different people. But Grand Cayman Toastmasters is the one for the general public, and eloquent as well speakers.
Okay, the Grand Cayman Toastmasters? What was the normal time for the club meeting?
Generally, we meet before COVID. We'd meet every Thursday at 6 p.m. sharp to 7:15. Since COVID, and understanding the challenges many members have had and experienced, being zoomed out all day, trying to manage, now being home, being a mom, having to work and managing all the other important things that you have to do at home during this time, we have changed our meetings to every other Thursday. So we meet the first Thursday, and then we have a break the second Thursday. Then on the third Thursday, we have another meeting again. Okay. And that is just for a short time. So once things are, as we want to say, back to normalcy, we hope to resume observing all the necessary protocols face-to-face meeting. And there are some members who definitely enjoy or relish the opportunity to meet face-to-face. Equally as well, there are those who now may not have the time to drive to a building, and they find the virtual space adequate for what they have to do. So one of the things we're hoping to do going forward is find a way, and I'm still working through the inks now, how to properly have a hybrid for the Grand Cayman Toastmasters Club.
Okay, so not totally doing away with some of the things, the like you said, the virtual space that has emerged through this time, and trying to merge the best of both worlds. I will say that one thing, when I want to say in high school, I think in high school was when I was first introduced to Toastmasters, and it was for a brief period. I was in Key Club at the time. Key Club is the high
Yeah.
school, middle school arm of Kiwanis, and
Correct.
they took us to a few Toastmasters sessions. And if there is one thing that stood out in my mind about Toastmasters that I remembered for time and memoriam is always, you are always on time, right? There is no exceptions. There's always a timekeeper. I think at the time that Toastmasters Club, they had like different colored cards when people were giving speeches, so they know like how much time they had left and if they'd gone over time. And the agenda had like, you know, five, six, like let's say there's commencement at 6 p.m. and 6:03 there was the introduction, and 6:07 there was, and that always, I remember looking at the agenda as a high school student and I'm like, okay, so this is what on time looks like, right? And so for that reason, I knew very, like, although the most convenient club for me to would have been to join the Grand Cayman Toastmasters on a Thursday because
Right.
it is literally right next door to the studio. I'm
Yes.
also well aware that I would be late by Toastmasters standards because I come off air at 6 and I'm like, okay, so that's
And that's okay. We do understand that these things do happen. It's a general club. We cater to the wider Cayman community, and there, different things happen, and as is the mix of the Cayman Islands. So we meet from 6 to 7:15. So within that time span, you're more than welcome, anyone, to come on and to be a part of the meeting, as much as we observe maintaining time. And the observation of maintaining time is not so much of a deterrent, it's just a rehearsed practice to be able to respect when you get an opportunity to deliver, to use that window that you have very well. Whether you're making a speech, whether we're here like with you, we have this slot for the next couple of minutes, is to be able to utilize the time well.
And I personally appreciate the strictness on time. We're gonna call it that, because I also in Key Club I remember through another like a leadership session, I learned the saying, to be early is to be on time, to be on time is to be late is to get left. And it is something that's also stuck with me very much since that time. So I personally don't mind the kind of regimented approach to time and otherwise. But you mentioned the virtual space and what you guys are doing right now to continue in the Toastmaster practices and learning. How is that going? Like, how are you guys facilitating Toastmaster meetings virtually?
It's been an amazing experience. It brought new challenge, and I think we have all risen to the challenge. It has brought many of us extremely closer. It has increased and improved the way we interact, and I would want to say interclub. It has caused us to speak to persons we never normally get a chance to speak to. Just for geographical distance, it has made the whole space a lot smaller. We continue to have interesting meeting titles. We continue to have excellent prepared speeches. We continue to enjoy the helpful feedback, critical feedback, not to demoralize, but just to really encourage you on and to say, hey, here are some of the things we think as you continue to develop your speaking and your leadership and communication skills, some things you could improve on.
Okay. Thank you for sharing that. Now, for people who may be wondering, can I join, during this time, even though you're not physically meeting, if someone wanted to join Toastmasters or start their journey with Toastmasters during this time, is that possible?
Yes, it is. It's extremely possible. I would encourage you to, we have a number that you could call. We could tell you that number in a few, but the Zoom platform is what we're using now to engage our members. And so for
I
anyone,
have it right here if you want.
go ahead. Right, so we're using the Zoom platform to engage.
So the number is 917-8733.
917-8733.
Right.
Okay, and I'll put that in the Facebook feed as well.
And like I'm saying, yeah, we welcome everyone. You're free to join. You're free to come in and observe. You're free to come in and participate. If you're just curious, and come on in. We're open to every and anyone who has an interest in leadership development as well as developing their communication skills. That's the type of organization we are. We're a dynamic organization, always looking at ways to improve our delivery. Just recently, we launched a brand new global education platform called Pathways. So I found it interesting, as your previous interview ended, that Robert Lynch mentioned about pathways. And here in the Toastmasters program, we have a specific, well-tailored, thought-out, catered plan called Pathway. It's very simple to use. It interacts with you, the person who would decide to get on a path. You just have to answer certain questions, and from that questions, you'll get varying suggestions. So whether you're someone who you're interested in, let's say you're interested in being an effective coach, or you want to do innovative planning, those are programs that we have here inside the Pathways program that can assist you as you go along that journey.
Awesome. And Sean, how long have you been a member or participating in Toastmasters? Like how long did you start?
I joined this club 2018.
Okay, so your journey is about 2 years in the making.
Yes.
Leanne, how about yourself? How long have you been a part of Toastmasters? I think you may have mentioned it earlier.
I joined 6 years ago.
Okay, so your journey is 6 years.
Yeah.
Now, you guys are at different stages in your journey, and I think that one of the things I've always recognized about Toastmasters is the ability for people to progress through your speaking leadership journey at your own pace, right? To a certain degree. And a lot of people are curious about that. You may hear bits and pieces about how Toastmasters works. If you follow people like Kimberly on Facebook, you see her post about seminars and conferences, and you see people with different titles. And I've had members of Toastmasters come on, and they have certain titles that they've earned. If we could get a little snippet of what how does the Toastmasters process work? Are you, how do you practice your public speaking? How does that happen in the context of Toastmasters? I have visited, as I've mentioned, Toastmasters meetings on a number of occasions. So I have seen a little bit of insight into what that journey looks like. But there are many people who have never sat in on a Toastmasters meeting, but have questions, and they're curious about what that journey may look like and what all the different titles mean and what happens at these conferences. So if we could just shed a little bit of light on Toastmasters for those who may want a little bit more information. So how does all of that work?
Go ahead, Jody. I have a few things, but I'll allow you to go.
So Toastmasters we have gone through a transition period where we're moving more into the dynamic leadership path of Pathways. But in the past, with all the different titles, they are exciting. We call them the legendary series. They are basically where you see all these fancy titles. So I've actually gained some titles. Each title you get like a nice little, and so you have your tracking to track DTM, which is a distinguished Toastmaster. Now, if you're becoming a distinguished Toastmaster, I believe you made like more than 20 speeches, probably. You've gone through like a leadership compact of different levels of different leadership programs within the Toastmasters. And it was designed to just encourage people to be like the best Toastmasters they can be. But that program has now, like I said, July 1st, June 30th or 31st was the ending of that program, and we're now more focused on Pathways. The beauty of Pathways is once you become a Toastmasters member, you can go onto our Toastmasters website. So it's all about you, right? As a person who wants to develop your leadership skills and take the initiative. You log on to your Toastmasters International website, and then you choose your path, or there's basically like this quiz that helps you to find out what path you like. Each path is designed for something new and something more innovative involved. And each person, as they go through this path, they have to start off with the icebreaker speech. Now, the icebreaker speech is just getting to know you. So if you want to do a Who Your Mama segment is in your icebreaker speech, that would be awesome. We want to learn more about our members. Like, why are they there? You know, what do they want from Toastmasters? So if you like to talk and if you like to give good stories and you want to improve and probably like enter storytelling, we've had people who've done gimme stories too.
That sounds like fun.
I think all around, we are just a family who are out, but it's just such an awesome program to join and to become a better person.
All right. Anything to add to that,
Yep.
Sean?
That's me.
Not much more than to say each club, and especially at the Grand Cayman Toastmasters Club, we try to create an environment where you feel at home to speak, at home to stand and have your moments of those kind of stuttering stuff without feeling as if you are under pressure. What we do here is to foster that feedback mechanism to say, hey, here you are among your peers, be comfortable, we're gonna do this journey with you. As you go up and you share to speak, then if that's what you want to do, then you go to speak. If you want to develop your leadership portfolio, you can do that in one of few ways. Like Jody mentioned just now, you have the Pathways program, which is recommended, especially now. But in each club as well, there are different positions you can take up. Like for me now, I've stepped up to be the president, as there is a important part of our Toastmasters promise. It says, to serve my club as an officer when called upon to do so. So I've risen to the occasion. Here is an opportunity for me to develop my own leadership skills. You have the vice president of education, vice president of membership. Then you have the Sarge, and your various other roles that you can play initially if you don't want to be, what we would say, bamboozled, if that's the word, or pressured into speaking. However, these roles do require some amount of speaking. And the more you do it, especially amongst your peers, that's what I said earlier, we are, as Jody said, we're a family. And especially at the club that I represent here, we definitely do our best to create that atmosphere where you're coming in, you feel at ease. So don't come in and look at, see Jody and making a presentation and say, oh my God, I can't do that. No, she started at zero. And through that process, being coached, being mentored by a direct mentor that's assigned to you, because the club had in the program as well, we need to assign you a mentor. And while you have your individual mentor, the entire club is also there to mentor you. There you have as we mentioned, DTM, the Distinguished Toastmasters. They are there to pass on their knowledge and to guide you along the way. Because oftentimes they will see things that maybe your mentor doesn't see, or had a footnote to say, hey, here is something again we believe that you can look at and improve on. So all in all, we just foster good communication and a spirit where, as a person, you feel okay.
Time goes from us very quickly. I will say that it has been on my agenda to join a Toastmasters club, because obviously I spend at least a few hours out of my week speaking publicly, and I do a lot of talking in general, but I just think it's a skill that is absolutely worthwhile honing for any of us. I know I have some bad habits when it comes to speaking, and some that I would like to break and just develop as a speaker. So now I am one of those people who love in person, and so I will wait till you guys are back in action in person, and then I will figure out which club I can fit into. But I want to Ingrid Bent on Facebook says, where leaders are made where leaders are made is what we are about. Leaders communicate and communicators lead. So I'm willing to beg that Ingrid is a Toastmaster. Is that correct?
It is fair to say that, yes.
Yes. And her motto is leading with love. That's her motto. So,
Ingrid, thank you.
That's her tagline. Personal.
So much for adding that comment into the Facebook feed as well. But guys, I will ask Sean, I'll ask you for final thoughts. We have 1 minute to return the dial to 6 o'clock. So final thoughts and reminders from you about how the public can get involved with Toastmasters and how they can get in touch with you at this stage.
Grand Cayman Toastmasters Club, we meet Thursdays at 6 to 7:15 p.m. And you can reach out to, I think it's 9167703, and you
8733 was the number that Jody gave earlier.
Yes, and you reach out to that number, thank you, and we will be more than happy to facilitate you there.
Awesome. And any final thoughts from you, Jody, quickly before we close out the show?
I would say visit our Facebook page too. We are on Facebook, Grand Cayman Toastmasters. And if you want to just improve your leadership skills or become a better leader, Toastmasters is for you. So reach out to us so that you can be a part of a leadership community building better leaders.
All right. Thank you both for your time. So happy to have you on, both on for the very first time.
Thank you so much as well.
I think everybody that I know.
Thank you.
Masters has always had rave reviews, so I encourage anyone who's been thinking about joining, take this opportunity to do so. And that brings us to 6 o'clock on the button, which means I'm about to be out of here and back again tomorrow at 5 p.m. sharp for some more Straight Talk right here on Star 92.7. I'll be same time, same place, 5 to 6 p.m. Don't keep that radio dialed to Star 92.7. I love y'all, and I talk to you tomorrow.
Wobble on it, wobble on it, wobble, wobble on it.